So I woke up today, turned on the TV, and found out that She-Hulk episode 2 had come out. And, here's me not even having gotten a chance to really start in on my She-Hulk episode 1 video. Me and the rest of the NerdRagnarok crew, Rob and Andrew, we spent a good little while talking about our problems with the first episode. And here we are at episode 2. So I'm just going to let it roll on our commentary on the first episode. Thanks for listening, guys. She-Hulk. Everybody go. She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Go.
Rah!
All right. So
Rah!
it's been almost a week since She-Hulk came out. So we're coming in a little bit late.
Fucking She-Hulk.
A lot of what can be said about that show has been said by a lot of other people on the internet. So I don't know if we're going to be particularly that insightful or novel. But still, fucking She-Hulk. Go. Somebody go.
Yeah. I pay no attention to other people on the internet generally, so my opinions are pure as the virgin snow here. The fuck was up with Mark Ruffalo? Are they like holding him hostage so they have blackmail on him or something? I've never seen a lazier acting performance. That was like, I don't know. He just couldn't get out of his chair or something.
He just couldn't be asked to actually show up for the film.
His line delivery was just so lifeless. Oh my God, it was just awful. I mean, you can tell he's done with Marvel and done being the Hulk.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't like being cucked after being an interesting character.
Well, even with that, it was like a Ben Affleck in Justice League level performance. He just could not be bothered to give a shit. He was the worst part about that. And
that's a strong statement.
Yes, it was a deeply flawed episode in the first place, and he was the worst part of it.
All right.
And here's my opinion on how things should have gone. The world, speaking for the world, everyone on Earth will agree with me on this. We are fucking sick of origin stories. We're done. We know the origin story. Knock it off. Don't give us a fucking origin story anymore. And what do? They go right back in and give us another fucking origin story. We're fine without it. Just have her start out in the office. She's already a Hulk. Maybe she mentions what happened. Maybe they have a little flashback. You don't have to take up 45 minutes of the fucking episode wasting my time on all this bullshit. Showing her train. What the hell? They could have left Mark Ruffalo out entirely.
Yeah, they could have just focused on her.
Technically, Rob, they did exactly what you're suggesting. It was just a really, really long flashback.
Oh, God. I mean, yeah, technically, I suppose. But wouldn't it, just start it out. Just give us the show initially. Don't have this awkward, poorly timed. The timing was just so bad. The pacing was so bad. Everything was wrong about the first episode.
And the editing of the last fight was just atrocious.
Wait a second. That's the one bit I liked. But okay.
Did you like the fight?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be good.
She takes her shoes off, goes up, hulks out, punches the crap out of the girl, and that's it.
Hey, guys, I'm sharing my screen. I want you to see. Ready? Here we go. Wait for it.
Power Rangers.
Wait for it.
Boom! Right in the tit.
Yep.
Awesome. It's the Zohan. You don't mess with him.
So, I can't claim originality for that. I saw that on the internet, but that's exactly when I saw it. I'm just like, what the fuck are they doing? This just looks so bad. It's so wrong.
If you're looking at it as a Marvel film, yeah. But theoretically, at least, this is supposed to be a comedy. Things looking awkward and stupid like that are just fine if they serve the comic premise.
All right, so you're giving it a pass on the fight, and yet, with even that aside, is still the worst show you've seen in like a decade. Yeah,
not the worst show I've seen in a decade. No, I've seen.
No, that's Obi-Wan. He loves Obi-Wan.
Fucking Obi-Wan. Fuck you, Obi-Wan. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's not the worst thing I've seen. It was disappointing in that I like the fact that they were trying to do a comedy, but for a comedy, it wasn't funny.
Yeah, it wasn't at all.
Did you laugh at all?
Nothing funny happened. Well, okay, here's my thought. The original comic run that they used as their source material was done by a guy named Dan Slott. That's largely regarded as a really great comic run. I've read it. I love it. I thought they did what they're trying to do with this show. They did in the comic, and they did it really fucking well. It was good. It was some of the best She-Hulk related stuff. It was really, really good. And Ally McBeal, they reference that a lot. They're saying we're trying to make kind of like a modern Ally McBeal, female lawyer, breaking the fourth wall.
That up.
They fucked that up. But and admittedly, I was a little boy at the time, but I liked Ally McBeal. I thought it was a funny, at least.
Great show. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I liked the show too.
The first 4 seasons before they started getting really up their ass. But yeah, it was hilarious and it was innovative and it was original and it was great. So if they were able to use Dan Slott's comic run and Ally McBeal as their two guiding lights and actually achieve that and pull that off, I think it had potential to have been a really fucking great show. They failed. They failed miserably.
It kind of feels like they started off that way and then chickened out. And then we got to put in a lot of origin story crap in here.
Peter David's run on the comic was also amazing. And that's kind of what brought her into they finally found what to do with her.
And random name here was also excellent.
Well, you've never heard of Peter David? Okay.
I've never heard of him either, but comic book fans listening to this will appreciate your contribution. So good job. They will, though. No, I mean, he's.
I figure you can just dub me over with a random comic book name guy so I seem smart.
No, I mean, that's a good thing about Andrew is he brings the knowledge. I thought I was I thought I was dropping the mic when I said Dan Slott, but then he comes in over my head. So that's good. I like that. Yeah. So it had the bones. It had the skeleton of a really good idea. It sounded good on paper. It seemed like a really good idea. There was potential and it could have been done well. They chose, through their artistic choices, their productorial choices, they chose not to make it well. So they fucked up.
They chose poorly.
Yeah. Go, Andrew. Go.
It wasn't that great. You know what? It wasn't terrible. I'll keep watching it to see if they go somewhere with it. Hopefully now that they got the origin out of the way, they're going to tell a self-contained little adventure or something, but we'll see.
It reeks of studio notes. It seems like, it's being pulled in 3 different directions. Somebody had a vision and then other people got scared and came in and started trying to pull it in other directions. And the whole thing came out as just awkward and weirdly paced and nothing was funny.
I was mostly offended by the 4 women that just walked into the bathroom and just started assaulting her by putting makeup on her and stuff. That was just so weird.
They were tranny hoes and they didn't clean her up. They just put makeup over all the dirt. It was weird. and they had an extra pair of big platform glittery silver shoes. I don't know.
That whole scene was just weird. What's the point of this?
I was thinking about you guys and your "Hey baby" joke. Hey baby. I mean, they did this.
Oh yeah.
They took everything that was bad in Captain Marvel and amplified it and put it into half an hour of television. So of course she walks outside of a bar and she's almost instantly raped. And the only thing saving her from being raped by these white men was her turning into the She-Hulk.
No, there was a black guy there too. They had representation.
They had rapist representation. That's good. That was brave.
As an adult white male, don't you, constantly hang out in packs with other white males looking for women to accost?
I do, but only when I'm looking extra greasy and rapey.
I mean, that's my primary, hobby. That's just my thing.
Yeah, I haven't gone wilding in a while.
Hey, baby. Yeah, Marvel has all these wilding people. It's weird. Okay, so CGI issues. I saw a lot of stuff on the internet in the last couple of weeks where they'd show the Edward Norton level of CGI of the Hulk, and he looked big and scary and muscular and badass. And then they show Ruffalo looking like, derp-a-der, I'm Ruffalo.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. So her portrayal, her CGI, it looked bad, but it doesn't really look that much worse than Ruffalo's Dr. Hulk. When I work harder on my shitty little YouTube videos than they do on their goddamn Marvel productions, that's a problem. That's a real problem.
Yeah.
As far as She-Hulk CGI, she did not look any more unbelievable or unreal as your average cartoon, tall, big, muscular, green, hot girl. So I'll watch a cartoon and I'll say, yeah, that's kind of my type. She-Hulk, definitely my type. I mean, she's tall, muscles, titties. I'm in. I'm 100% in.
Her personality, though, was so unlikable.
Well,
she was just an unlikable douche, through the whole thing,
Well, see, Andrew was triggered. I'm giving her more of a chance in light of the fact that, it was very obvious to me that the pacing was all off. They didn't have time to really develop her personality or anything because they were too busy rushing through origin stories and all sorts of bullshit.
Well, she was being an asshole when she didn't need to be. Like when he said, "Oh, like you did this with your blood," and she's like, "Oh, because I'm better." It's like
She's having a rough week. Cut her a break, man.
Again, getting into it's been said in the last week, I'm going to get into it a little bit. Most of the things she said were cringy for various reasons. Her whole thing about how because she's a woman, she's scared all the time.
I liked that line.
Yeah, you liked it. But here's the thing. Let's think about what...
Yes, but I do interact with women, and that is something a woman would say, and it would be funny.
All right. Like rein your vag in for just a minute. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
Bruce Banner, his dad killed his mom, and I'm pretty sure he saw it happen. He's been hunted for the last decade of his life by his father-in-law who wants to kill him. He's seen some shit. He's been in outer space. He's fought monsters. And she's trying to say that because she gets like hay babied every now and again, she's like all oppressed and shit. Fuck that.
Well, no, but she wasn't taking the big picture in mind there. She's having a rough week. She's frustrated. This whole big bomb has been dropped in the middle of her life, so she's lashing out a little, and Bruce is cool with it. Like a normal person, he's like, okay, let her vent a little bit. It's fine.
There are certain things like rules that have come about in Hollywood, like guidelines where you can't have like this many white men in your show. You have to have this many representations, people of color. I don't know if it's hard and fast, but in general, that's how it's been working out. And some of the things you can't do is have a hetero white male save or mentor a woman. Okay. So that's why Bruce Banner, who in the comics saved Jennifer Walters with his blood transfusion.
Yep.
They kind of zipped that around. They changed it. They fixed it. They made it more modern.
In a really awkward and poorly edited scene.
Really fucking awkward. Really fucking awkward. And when he's trying to mentor her, I mean, he knows some shit. Not only is he goddamn genius, but he's been living as a Hulk for 15 fucking years.
Yeah.
He's put a bullet in his mouth trying to kill himself. And anyway, that's off topic. So she's got to get it's like the rules say, the studio notes say, oh no, he can't teach her. She needs to give him some sassy shit back. So everything he said, every single little tidbit or nugget of advice that sounds pretty good to know if you just became a Hulk, she's instantly got to be like, I got this. I'm good. She did a lot of this. She didn't actually do that. But still, in my head, I heard that. The transforming into the Hulk, they did that so poorly. It was like drip, drip. What? And she's the Hulk. That was just awkward and weird. Yeah, pacing. Just shit pacing.
Yeah. It was edited and re-edited to within an inch of its life, and they sucked everything good out of it if there was anything good in there in the first place.
And in getting through this supposedly obligatory origin story, it was rushed, poorly paced, and it was like perfunctory. It's like they had a bunch of boxes they knew they had to tick, and they just tried to tick them as quickly as possible and get through them because they knew they had to, because maybe they had studio notes or whatever. Plus, didn't Professor Hulk just get done inventing time travel?
No, that was Tony Stark.
Doesn't Professor Hulk have access to his best friend's fucking time travel?
Probably, although, Tony might have taken the secret with him to his grave.
Couldn't he have fixed Jennifer Walters with the time travel? Okay, move on. I'm sorry.
You don't want to fuck with time unless you absolutely have to, unless the fate of the universe is at hand. Everything else is just playing with fire.
I know that, but no one in the Marvel Universe knows that.
I think Bruce Banner would know that. I think Bruce Banner would be a wise
The man who invented fucking Ultron and almost destroyed the world 8 times?
Once again, Tony Stark, or in the comics, Hank Pym. Bruce Banner had nothing to do with either of those.
He was there. he could have spoke out. He could have stopped him. Jesus Christ. The whole good thing about being a Hulk is you can drink as much as you want and not get drunk. Then why the fuck are you drinking? It doesn't taste that good. Have a Gatorade. What? I don't understand. They had their obligatory fight scene where they both have to fight.
Oh, of course, that has to happen.
But then again, it is a comic book movie, so we're gonna call it fan service because comic book readers demand that when the good guys meet up, they fight. As far as Titania goes, she looked like she was there in court because she was caught street walking. I didn't like the outfit.
Yeah. She looked like Randy Macho Man Savage.
Yeah.
I love her. She was great in the Good Place.
The Good Place. Yeah, she was. I predict what's going to happen is actually I know what's going to happen because I've read.
Well, I haven't looked it up, so don't ruin it.
Okay. All right.
You shouldn't mention The Good Place, talking about She-Hulk. I mean, because that's an example of a really well-crafted, well-put-together show. And
54 episodes, and they're all bangers, I know. Like a perfect show with a great ending.
You're saying he's profaning a really good show by mentioning it in the same breath as...
Yeah. Yeah, like you don't want to talk about Mandalorian the same time you're talking about Boba Fett. They sully one another.
They sully Sullenberger each other. All right. Does anybody else have any big revelations on She-Hulk?
I think we beat that horse to death.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was already beat to death long before we started recording, but still, we're going to throw our 2 cents in. And that'll do it for today's video, guys. Thanks for going on this journey with us. Let me know how you liked it in the comments section. And also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel as we bring you more thoughtful and intriguing content in the future.